What is going on? It's Alex coming back at you with another video, and today we're going to be doing the Tennessee Titans 7-round mock draft. If you are new, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. We're just growing at the fastest rate possible, and you know what? We're going to be doing another one of these post-free agency, and I already know my boy James Foster is going to be coming on, so I'm super excited to do that collab, but we want to be able to pound these out as much as we can before free agency starts, before the combine hits. And so I'm going to be doing my best to get through all 32 teams so we kind of have a general idea, give you guys some deeper sleepers to think about, and then we get to go from there. Let's get into this. Let's have a great time. If you want to support the show, use the code HAILMARY when you go to UnderDog Fantasy. If you want to send me $10, send them $10 instead. With that code, they send me 60, and you can potentially get some money. Remember, play responsibly, play legally. Let's get into this. Starting out with the number 1 overall selection. Technically, I could have hit start in the beginning, but I kind of wanted to be able to do that every single time. And we're going to be doing this episode while also referencing right here on Our Lads. Of course, they're going to have a bunch of like BS fucking pop-ups, but it is what it is. I have an ad blocker too, but regardless, we're going to be continually referencing this throughout the entire mock draft, so keep that in mind. We're not just going to be pulling picks out of our ass. I'm going to try to explain it if you are new. Below my face is my board, by the way. It's completely transparent, it's being updated all the time as I evaluate more and more players. I have clips over on X. English is tough today. I have clips over on X that I end up posting that support my conclusions there. It's fully transparent, and I don't get to move guys up or down. It's solely based on their grades. But at number 1 overall for the Titans, there's 2 players that I really want to focus on. It's not Travis Hunter, because I just don't see the return on investment of Travis Hunter. He said he's going to the combine as a corner. I personally just don't see the value of a corner on the squad. Again, we can take a quick little peekaroonie. Hello, we're going to the wrong fucking page. There we go. We can go look at the corners, and you got Cheeto. There's nothing really that I'm worried about, right? Cheeto, Jarvis, Legarius needs to get healthy, right? Like Roger McCreary, there's no need for it. So are you going to be looking at Travis as a number 1 overall player as a wide receiver? And I don't think anybody really believes he's a number 1 player as a receiver. So we're looking at Abdul Carter and we're looking at Cam Ward, right? Because the quarterback position absolutely could be upgraded from. We look at it, it's Will Levis, and there's not even a number 2 at the moment. And of course, I do think that it certainly makes a lot of sense to go after a QB, but you got to look at the coaching staff. Brian Callahan is not the style, like he wasn't able to make it work with Will Levis. I think Cam Ward, in all reality, has some similar traits. The high-level throws are amazing, the mobility is solid, and the processing can slip up at times. That is kind of a very similar foundation between the two. And it didn't work with Will Levis. I'm not saying it can't work with Cam Ward, but I'm saying there's a lower probability of it happening. So I'd rather look at Shedeur Sanders. I'd rather look at Will Howard. Even Jackson Dart for that matter. Obviously, guys, or you could even look at Kyle McCord as well. Tyler Shuck. Like, if you want to wait one more year, which my inside sources in the Titans end up telling me, which is actually surprisingly one of the few teams I actually really have some guys who know the situation better than probably what you can find just like Googling around. But they say Callahan has a pretty long leash, and I think he's going to be happy taking a swing on someone later and taking the best player available here. We're not going to be doing trades just because I don't think that's very realistic to do so. Of course, if it's starting to look like a trade is imminent, then we'll do it. But Abdul Carter is going to be the selection at number 1, a true freak of nature himself. At number 35 for the Titans, let's look at how the board ended up falling. And, we got some fun picks in here. I don't want to overweight it because this is Trev's board, but I think it's closer than Mock Draft Database. Like, Mock Draft Database does have some picks that I think are some rankings that are like extremely, extremely outdated. PFN, I absolutely detest their mock draft simulator if I'm just going to be completely blunt. So, like, we're looking at the Titans here at 35, and I want a game plan, right? We don't have another pick till 101. So what are the positions that we need the most, right? We still could look at that QB spot, but again, unless Shedeur Sanders was sitting there at 35, we're not taking him, right? And so looking at other positions, we do not need a corner. Don't know why corner is listed as one of the needs, but I think right tackle absolutely is. Let's go back and let's check this out. Like, right tackle, Jalen Duncan, no disrespect, I don't think that he should be the future there. Personally, I think that, well, I know that Ferrer takes reps as well at right tackle, but Duncan and Ferrer I love as swing tackles, depth players. That right tackle spot absolutely is super duper key. It's going to be the primary position that I focus on at this pick, but we could also look at some guard value. Technically tight end, like if you want to go after, I mean, I know that Colson Loveland's available. Probability of that is pretty low, but I'm looking at the tackles, bottom line. And we're looking at right tackles, but we could go after Donovan Jackson for a left. But look at my board below my face, and it does have Ozzy Trapilo extremely high. And to be fair, our next pick's at 101. We're not going to get him even if we pass on him. So this is like a do or die pick. And we got our edge rushing position. The next most valuable position that I think we need is that tackle spot. I do think wide receiver as well, but it's just, man, it's the Jamar Chase Penn State meme. It's just, or not Jamar Chase, Penei Sewell meme. Jamar Chase, Penei Sewell. Like, you're talking about Joe Burrow pretty much getting tackled while trying to throw to Jamar Chase, or him throwing to anybody and not being touched at all. I think Ozzy Trapilo is the safest tackle in the class. I think that like Trev's board is a bit outdated at this point for Ozzy Trapilo. I think he's going to continue rising the more people watch him. Donovan Jackson absolutely could be as well. Feel free to put the tackle of your choice. I like Ursary as well, but again, if you're going for these left tackles, I'd rather move JC back to right, and he's honestly been solid in my opinion as a left tackle. So I'm going to go after someone who's going to be a true right there in Ozzy Trapilo. So just so you guys know, we have Abdul Carter and Ozzy Trapilo so far addressing the right tackle as well as the edge rushing position. At number 101 for the Titans, we got some really good players who fell here, right? You're looking at Dylan Gabriel. We're looking at Will Howard. And Will Howard is great for the system. Again, you're talking about the Joe Burrow style of quarterback. And technically, Will Howard has some legs to him as well. But we could try to roll the dice, see if, we can get Jackson Dart as well. I know people like Jackson Dart more than Will Howard. I personally like Will Howard more than Jackson Dart. But this is, once again, one of those spots where you could end up actually putting in your guy, because it's not like I'm going to take him to another team. They're going to be taken by another team. So I do like the idea. I also think linebacker, like Jack Kaiser, trying to find where the hell I put this board. Jack Kaiser absolutely could be a dark horse pick for a nice inside linebacker with pass rushing and coverage versatility. Like, I personally really like that potential as well. And so I think I might try to roll the dice of him being there at 118. And I'm going to go after the QB here. It's round 4. You can end up putting whatever quarterback, Will Howard or Jackson Dart, that you please. I'm going to be going after Will Howard, who is my QB3. And I already know I'm going to get killed because Jackson Dart did fall to 118. Did we end up losing out on our other player that we wanted? And the answer is no. I really like Jack Kaiser a lot. I mean, Jack Kaiser right now sitting on my board is 38. Of course, it's not fully updated for the end of the year, but Jack Kaiser was the best linebacker, in my opinion, there in Mobile as well. Really good dude, and honestly, I mean, he's from Indiana, so it's not like he's going to be some Cali boy who's like bitching about the humidity. It's like, that is a legitimate factor. Some guys, you look at Matt Golden, are very focused on being in the climate that they enjoy, and I think that Tennessee, Nashville, it's a small thing, but it is something. You look at all these games, including like NCAA, it's like proximity to home matters. And technically, Jack Kaiser has been focusing on staying close to home. He's an Indiana native, went to Notre Dame, but I don't think he'd care too much about an upgrade by going to Nashville. And so I'm really liking that idea. Again, like based on the guys who are available, I think that's the best of the bunch. I don't know how you could put Brandon Crenshaw Dixon at 115. Now, we could go Emory Jones here. And the thing is, our next pick's 141. I'd rather go a Johnny Cornelius and put him at guard, or go like Logan Brown and then have him in this system, than actually spend that pick right now. I'm going to be going after Jack Kaiser. And funnily enough, you guys are getting the creme de la creme because I haven't picked anybody for any other team at this point. But regardless, so far, we've gotten Will Howard, Jack Kaiser, Ozzy Trapilo, Abdul Carter, addressing edge, tackle, a quarterback that can compete, absolutely, and then a top-tier linebacker that somehow fell. Here at 141, let's go back to our board here, and we could go after another defensive interior. I do think you should try to bring back Sebastian Joseph Day. That's my personal opinion there, but I mean, we got ourselves an extra edge rusher here to pair up and be like in a good rotation. We don't need that anymore. Corner, we don't need. Defensive back, I do think that, there's going to be a lot of guys on free agency. You could end up bringing back some veteranship right there. But let's look at the edge or the safety position. Upton Stout's a corner. I love him to death. This is excellent value for him, and I will be taking him for other teams in this range. But I'd be looking at Malachi Moore, because Malachi preseason was fantastic, and he's a great athlete. His problem is letting up the big plays. And for free safety, I think he's a great pick. But based on where he's at, and I didn't do this, there are some players, like, again, we need to address the receiving position. LeJohntay Wester is somebody who I'm probably debating taking at this point. Same thing as Dante Thornton. Like, there's guys who are ranked very low that I just can't see slipping past this point. LeJohntay Wester is one of them. This is going to be someone who I'm going to try to take higher than what I should based on, what's available here. And you got Juice Wells, love him. Kyle Williams was awesome. Pat Bryant could be your X as well. But good options regardless here. And the question is, what role do I want to replace? And looking at the wide receivers, like Tyler Boyd would be great for LeJohntay Wester. But of course, over Nick Westbrook-Akine, especially in the role that you formerly had for DeAndre Hopkins, Pat Bryant could be a really good fit there as well. I just have more faith in LeJohntay Wester than the other bunch, and I think it's a great fit here. So again, I could wait and be that guy and be like, oh, well, I'm going to play the board, and I'm going to do it for other players. But for LeJohntay, I think it's a disservice to have him at 228. I don't give a shit that he's sub 170. I mean, he's an incredible, and he showed out consistently. At 167 for the Titans, again, a quick little review of what we did. We got our Tyler Boyd replacement, LeJohntay Wester. We got an inside linebacker in Jack Kaiser. We ended up getting quarterback competition, Will Howard, Trapilo to play our right tackle, and Abdul Carter. I think we're doing a great job. On the interior of the offensive line, Jonah Monheim is actually really good value. Same thing with Miles Frazier. That's definitely one of the next picks that I'm thinking about. Safety as well. 240, will we be able to get Malachi Moore? I don't know. And I'm looking at 177 for Malachi Moore, FYI. But regardless of that, we already got our quarterback. I feel really happy with, even if we have to walk away. Oh my God, Emory Jones is here? What in the crap, man? I mean, again, this is no disrespect to Trev, because he's a great dude. Got to meet him again in Mobile, so it's good to see him. Hopefully we're going to get him on the show. But some of these spots, like Emory Jones, I'm probably sure he's right here, Braden Swinson, Jordan James, I just personally don't get how you could put him down that far. But, it is what it is. We're going to be benefiting for the Titans here because we do need a guard spot. We do. And Emory Jones is going to be a real quality guard. So I actually really like that. Like, a lot. So we're going to do it. We're going to go Emory Jones Jr. here to play guard for us at LSU. At 177, we're back. And so we've addressed the interior of the offensive line. We've addressed tackle. Like, the whole entire offensive line looking pretty good right now. We got quarterback, some extra pass rush. And like right now, the area where I'm a little bit concerned with is that secondary. And I am looking at Malachi Moore, who preseason was a top 100 player on my board. And you look at the coverage grade, 89.4 is incredible. I'm not a PFF like merchant for statistics, but I mean, great forced incompletion rate. I just said forced miscompletion. Good missed tackle rate as well. Like, you look at the statistics, let your eyes see that he's in the top quartile of pretty much everything, and almost the top quartile of run defense grade as well. I think this dude's fantastic, and I personally don't get why he's being like viewed in this negative of a light. I personally just don't understand it. But you guys are going to be, again, ones to be able to benefit from it. Malachi Moore is going to be the selection there at 177. At 240, we are ending off this draft. Could go Tyler Shuck here. Honestly, incredible value. But we've addressed the defensive back situation at safety with excellent value. We've addressed both guard and a tackle. We've addressed one of the wide receiver positions. And then also, I mean, we got great value. This is a good draft, and I feel very happy with it. Now, if you're looking for a more possession-style receiver, you got Brew McCoy right down the street. And honestly, I would feel a little bad if we don't come out of this without a Tennessee guy, but Jackson Meeks is awesome. Ja'Cory Brooks, it's bullshit that he's down this far. I'm just going to call it out as it is. This dude is so damn good. And it's another player where I think it's disingenuous to have him down this far, to the point where I'm not going to draft him because of that reason. Like, I think that's too low. Bo Collins as well. I think he's a fantastic receiver for how poorly he grades. I think he's like probably around that 150 to 200 range now for me. And he was someone who I really liked preseason. But Jackson Meeks is the guy who I really like. Good physical build there, 6'2", 210. And he looked really solid at the Shrine Bowl. Like, this is just somebody who, to bring the emphasis of physicality, could of course go Theo Weiss here, but I'm not really a huge fan of Theo Weiss over what I saw from Jackson Meeks. Again, I have some guys down here that I think are poorly rated, but again, everyone's entitled to their opinion. I have DJ Giddens very, very down far, so it's okay. I understand it. We're going to go Jackson Meeks here to bring that physicality to the table. I earned a reward. Hallelujah. But yeah, it's like saying, it doesn't like that I drafted Ozzy Trapilo, but honestly, I am perfectly happy with this. It's a disgrace to see LeJounte Wester hated on so much, but Trapilo will be rising. He did phenomenally well in Mobile. He's been the most consistent tackle, arguably, in the country. And so you look at this board, we addressed edge. We addressed both of the offensive line spots, Jones being a guard. We addressed having quarterback value as well with competition with, like, again, 101, great value. Top tier interior offensive interior backer here, and then you got some defensive back and physicality. I love it to death. I don't care if it's in the bottom 24% of drafts. I'm going to take that all day, but let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching. See you on the far side.